What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to episode number 45 of our MLB The Show 21 franchise mode here with the Pittsburgh Pirates. Before we get into today's video, if you guys do enjoy today's video, be sure to leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe for more amazing content, because only you can make a difference for today's channel, so your support is always greatly appreciated. And with that being said, guys, we are going to be diving right back into this Cincinnati Reds series, this 3-game series. This is a very crucial series in the entire franchise so far, probably one of the most important series of the entire video, well, pretty much the entire season completely for the Pirates, as we are getting that much closer. We are sitting on top of the wild card, but not before, as you can see in front of you, the Pirates do lose game number 2. If you guys didn't see game number 1, be sure to check that one out. That was the last video that we uploaded on episode number 44. We did end up taking that video, and the win did go to the Pittsburgh Pirates. But in this one, Sonny Gray is going to throw 7 very strong innings for the Cincinnati Reds. He struck out 8 batters, only did allow the 1 solo shot, which wasn't too bad for him. The Pirates offense was really struggling in this one, only notching 3 hits, all of those coming across Sonny Gray, the starting pitcher. So after that, in the 8th and the 9th inning, the bullpen did its work for Cincinnati. Looking at the box score, the 3 batters that are going to be notable is Jaihwan Bay picked up a hit. That is going to get his major league average, his rookie season, to a 260 so far. So starting to kind of finish some things out is Jaihwan Bay. And then rookie sensation Diego Flores hit his 12th home run of the season. That is going to be a solo shot for him. He did strike out 2 times, so we're hoping to see the bat kind of come a little bit more to form than that. A 245, still notching a decent amount of home runs. And then go figure, of course, Ke'Bryan Hayes is going to be the 3rd guy to get the hit on the day. So not the best day to be a Pittsburgh Pirates fan, but nonetheless, we are still in pursuit for that hashtag Buctober. So put it down in the comments below, hashtag Buctober, to see if these Pirates can make the run for the postseason. We're going to be taking a look now at the game 2 of the pitching line. Like we mentioned before, Sonny Gray did throw an absolute gem, but it is not to be taken away. Chad Cole did throw pretty well in this game. He does get his 9th loss on the season, unfortunately, but he does go 6 strong innings, allows 5 hits on 2 earned runs, only walked 1 batter while striking out 6 batters himself. A very un-Chad Cole-like game. You don't really see him strike out too many batters, so it was good to see that happen. And then the bullpen, for the most part, was pretty solid. We had Richard Rodriguez and Josh Staumont coming in. Both of those batters in just 1 inning struck out a pair of batters for themselves. Staumont's ERA is going to drop to a 260. He has been an absolute great acquisition. A lot of good bullpen pieces, and really, I think a lot of the key components to this team and the success has been some of those early acquisitions really panning out. Players like Ryan O'Hearn and Josh Staumont, a lot of those former Royals players that have really been shaping up, and then the players that we got from the Cleveland Indians trade, talking about Franmil Reyes and Tristan McKenzie. Spins McKenzie has been absolutely great and key components to this team, especially late in the season, seeing McKenzie form and pitch how he has, and then Franmil, who has been on an absolute tear in September, hitting baseball after baseball over the wall, as we are going to be breaking things down in the minor leagues right now. And with that being said, guys, wrapping up the game number 2, the rest of this video is going to be more of a minor league updates video. So you're going to see in front of you the AAA Cleveland Indians, or not the Cleveland Indians, the Indianapolis Indians have finished the season at 65-77. That is not going to be good enough for the AAA postseason games for them. So unfortunately, that is going to be all of the AAA minor league baseball that we are going to see from our team. We're going to get into some of the notable guys in just a second, but it is also worth noting in AA, they also did not fare too well. So a lot of the guys really just didn't perform too well. I don't know if you can really consider that. We sent a lot of guys fluctuating up and down in the leagues, so that I think that has a lot to play with it. I'm not too worried if our AAA or our AA teams are really performing well in the minor leagues. Of course, you always want to see your teams perform good, but it's not really something, as long as the players are developing and performing, which some of the guys that we're going to be talking about as the season winds down, these are going to be some of the more notable guys that are in our organization that we're going to be talking about. One of these guys actually just got his major league debut in Rocio Contreras. I believe I'm pronouncing his first name right. I'm not exactly sure. But with that being said, guys, we are definitely going to be diving into each one of these players right now. This might be a little bit of a shorter video. It might be a little bit of a longer video. I'm not exactly sure. But with that being said, guys, let's talk about some of the AAA and AA sensations down in the minor leagues of this Pittsburgh Pirates organization as September is winding down and the season is getting to the nitty and gritty. And the first man on the list of the day is going to be center fielder in the AAA organization. That is going to be Sammy Ciani. Ciani was a guy that did play a lot of left field, a lot of right field. He's pretty much all over the place in the outfield, so we really utilized that. His bat in 130 games, it wasn't the best, but it was not the worst. This is definitely a guy that I really believe can improve and become a huge piece, actually, in this organization. He was a guy that, despite only really notching 125 hits and only really walking 52 times. He did strike out a little bit too much for my liking, but 33 stolen bases is a pretty good number to see. The slugging obviously down there. He didn't hit any home runs. This is not a guy that's really going to be building a lot of power. He's only 6 foot, barely even 200 pounds. This is a guy that kind of reminds me a little bit of like a Starling Marte without the power, if you want to say. He's going to be kind of like that slapstick hitter type player. Hopefully he's a guy that can notch us a couple base hits and get us some steals. If you're looking at his attributes right now, you're going to be seeing he did do pretty well against righties, but lefties is definitely something that gave him a little bit of a problem. The fielding is definitely there. This is a guy that knows how to range himself in the outfield. At only 19 years old, he already has major league ready fielding skills. He's super fast already as well. He's Pennsylvania born. Sammy Ciani, definitely a guy that we are going to be keeping tabs on throughout this organization. And also worth noting, he's not really a guy that's going to be getting hurt a lot. He has an 80 durability. The guy is made out of steel, so he is perfect for the Steel City. So hoping to see Sammy Ciani in the near future. And the next guy that we are going to be talking about is the AAA player, the second baseman in Steven Olafs. I believe I'm pronouncing that one is right. If I'm botching a couple names, feel free to correct me down in the comments below. I know you guys are dying to correct me. So we are going to be getting right into Steven Olafs. This is a New York born native. He's 24 years old, so he's kind of on that iffy side, but he is in AAA. He is developing pretty decent. He put up a pretty nice season himself, an 828 OPS with a batting average of a 279, a slugging percentage over nearly 450, sitting at a 447, 9 home runs total. Only did get the 2 stolen bases. He was a pretty solid guy in 108 games, like we said. Pretty productive guy. A lot of extra base hits in the doubles department. 31 doubles on the season in just 108 games is pretty impressive in my opinion. And he's only striking out 74 times in the season out of those 108 games and 380 at-bats. I will definitely take that out of Olafs. Looking at his attributes, this is a guy, again, definitely seems like he's going to be developing pretty well. A lot of power build-up this year on that left side of the plate for him. So hopefully against lefties, he's going to keep knocking things out. I think the bat is still a little down on the actual attributes department, but if he can keep hitting 279, maybe a little bit higher next season, hoping maybe around the 280, 290 mark, I think Olafs could definitely see some major league time, maybe even a 40-man roster spot for Olafs. Definitely a guy that could be replacing Neil Walker, Kevin Newman, those guys that might not be key staples, but if Newman keeps performing how he is, maybe Olafs will be a guy that we can trade for a major league ready piece. Not really sure. A lot of moving pieces with Olafs, but I did want to really mention this guy because he definitely put up a good season and was worth noting for the year. And now moving things over to Cal Mitchell. Cal Mitchell was another guy that was very fun to have in the minor leagues. This is definitely a guy that I think we're going to try to build around as well. Don't think he's going to be a guy that we're going to package or trade off to try to get some major league ready talent. This is a guy that I want to keep in the organization. I think he's going to develop really well. In 2017, he was the second round draft pick. So hopefully Mitchell can do exactly what he did in 69 games. Nice. In 245 at-bats, Mitchell did pick up 67 hits on 9 home runs. Did strike out 80 times, so got to get them strikeout numbers down for sure. But a slugging percentage nearly in the 500s at a 478 and an OPS in the 800s, the low 800s at an 817, and then a batting average at a 273 was not a bad sample size for the first year of really seeing Cal Mitchell, so hopefully this guy can keep developing and doing exactly what he is. This is a guy, like you can see right here, he has more upside to the power department. This is a guy that I can see really connecting with the baseball in the major leagues, hopefully. I think he does need some more time in AAA again. I think we're going to start him in AAA. Hopefully he can develop and continue to do things. Hopefully he can be the starting right fielder, depending on how we do things in the offseason with some acquirements. We might end up trying to acquire some depth just so we can have some guys for the major leagues, because I don't think Cal Mitchell is really ready for the major leagues. He has a lot of work to do. Very low vision guy. The strikeouts are definitely going to be up there. That's something that he needs to fix on if he is going to be in the black and yellow in the 4-1-2 down in Pittsburgh. The fielding is pretty good and the speed isn't the worst. It's not the best, but for a right fielder, he doesn't really need to be there. So definitely developing player in the minor leagues is Cal Mitchell. And sticking into AAA and sticking into the outfield yet again, we are going to be talking about one of the most disappointing parts of our minor leagues, and that is one of our top prospects in Travis Swaggerty. To be honest, I'm going to just go flat out on the table. I don't really know what to do with him. It is very frustrating. This is a guy that we really were talking about early in the season. This was a guy that we were expecting that was going to jump out, develop in a huge way. And as you can see in AAA in 106 games, he was horrible. 83 hits. He did hit 11 home runs, so the power was okay. 75 strikeouts. Didn't really steal as many bases as I wanted him to. The average was near the Mendoza line. The on-base percentage wasn't even over 300. Didn't even have a slugging over 400 despite the 11 home runs, because he was not getting on base in so many at-bats that we gave him. So he didn't even finish an OPS in the 650s. Definitely really frustrating to see. He is developing. We gave him some time in AA. That didn't really pan out as well. Brought him back to AAA. Things looked good in AA, and it was just kind of back and forth there for a while towards the end of the season. He did finish the season out in AAA, but things definitely are a little bit rough for him. You can see the fielding is still good, but I really don't know if the bat's ever going to come around. He's 22 years old. He's a lefty. A lot of eyes might be on him. I kind of feel like he might be an Austin Meadows type situation where we end up trading him and then he ends up playing pretty good for another team. I really hope that is not the case, but with Travis Swaggerty, something has to get figured out sooner than later. I think we're going to start him out in AAA. Hopefully if he does good, and if we end up having to send him down to AA, I think that's where we're going to try to kind of pawn him off on another team, maybe try to kind of get a couple decent steals, maybe some prospects, maybe even a decent reliever, because we definitely need to build up that bullpen. So hopefully things can work out for Swaggerty, but it's kind of becoming a little bit of a dark cloud in the sky for the Pirates right now. So that is pretty much what I have to say about Travis Swaggerty. And yet again, another outfielder in the AAA system. This one is Lolo Sanchez, and we really could have included him in the AA because he spent just about as much time in AAA as he did in AA. And yet again, a carbon copy to Travis Swaggerty. Frustration has definitely been brewing with some of these outfielders. Lolo Sanchez, a little bit different than Swaggerty. He's about 2 years younger. He's only 20 years old, and I'm not really expecting a 20-year-old to be putting up the greatest batting average. He's also not really a guy that is expected to be the best hitter. I'm hoping he can hit over to Mendoza line at the major league level. This guy didn't even get a 600 OPS, not even a 300 slugging. The on-base percentage is higher than the slugging. That is horrible to see. Those are absolutely things that needs fixed before we do anything with Lolo Sanchez. He is probably going to be starting out in AA. He's totally not ready for AAA. It's a little bit of a frustration with me yet again with this one, because these are top prospects in the organization that are just truthfully not developing. You can look at his attributes and see that, yes, stats are developing, and he is already ready to be fielding at the major leagues by far. He is fast as can be. He's going to be stealing bases. He's pretty much that part of the team that we need. We need that speed. We need that good defense. He's going to be a great player in the near future for some team. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Byron Buxton whenever he was first coming up for the Minnesota Twins. Couldn't hit for anything. The fielding was there and everyone knew it. Absolute speedster, jets on the wheel. Kind of similar situation here. Hoping that he can have a breakout season in 2021 and really make some noise in the minor leagues for us to really kind of consider him anymore. And briefly summing up Brian Goodwin's career in the AAA system, pretty much wrapping up all that Brian Goodwin is going to be utilized for. He was horrible in AAA. He was horrible at the major league level. This is a guy that we probably should have DFA'd, but we didn't because we didn't have a lot of depth. That is my report on Brian Goodwin. And wrapping thing up with the position players, we're going to be moving into the pitching portion of the AAA organization, talking about one of the guys that we got from the waiver line in probably what was one of the best minor league guys that we had actually ended up getting in the overall organization. That was John King. For a long time, he was starting for us in the minors, and then he actually got some bullpen work, started doing very well in the bullpen. Things got a little bit shaky as we started trying to convert him back into a starting role, so we ended up keeping him back in the bullpen. So you're going to see a little bit of a weird slash line. You're going to see he's 5-10 with 3 saves, a blown save. He has 6 holds. He pretty much did about everything we needed him to do, and that was something that I really enjoyed. John King was an absolute beast, to be honest with you. I don't think a 61 overall really does him justice, so you guys let me know down in the comments below. John King has been one of those guys that I've been debating messing with his attributes. I'm thinking more along the lines of kind of dropping that stamina down to maybe like a 30 to a 40, upping some of the hits per nines, the walks per nines, and the home runs per nines, just so he performs a little bit better. I'm not trying to make him a strikeout king. It's not what John King is, but he has been very good for us, and I think he's a surprise reliever that we could really have. So you guys let me know what you guys think about John King, but he has been a great claim for us so far in this series. And things are getting exciting. We are talking about Rocio Contreras, the guy that we acquired in the Jameson Taillon trade, sending him to the New York Yankees in last season. That ended up nodding the Pittsburgh Pirates with one of the best pitchers that we were able to acquire, and that was in Rocio Contreras. In 28 games, he ended up finishing with a 10-8 slash line, over 156 innings thrown. He allowed 146 hits on 74 runs, 69 earned runs. Nice, only allowing 18 home runs while striking out 133 batters, allowing 75 walks. Definitely want to see the walks go down a little bit. I'm never a fan of the walks. I think for the most part he's pretty good. 18 home runs, we would always like to see that get knocked down to the single digits for sure. Nearly an ERA in the 4. Definitely think he has room to improve before he gets called up for this Pirates organization. But Contreras did recently just make his major league debut on September 29th, where this video is getting recorded as. So the 3 innings that he did throw was pretty impressive to me, to say the least, for those of you guys that are wondering if I am keeping up to date with some of the recent tabs. I am. So with that being said, guys, Contreras, you're going to see his attributes here. He's definitely growing as a pitcher as well. A +7 to the Ks per 9. That's definitely something we want to see. Adding to that clutch and the control, really something we want to see. I want to see the control go up a little bit more before we decide to really make a nod on him. But I think Contreras by next season should be ready at 21 years old coming into this. And another top prospect in the organization as far as pitching goes in the AAA organization, that is going to be Quinn Priester. Priester, again, started out the season in AA. He is only 19 years old, and he threw absolutely amazing in AAA. In 28 games, Priester finished with a 6-5 record, ended up actually getting a save. We messed with him a little bit in the bullpen as well. We did that with a lot of our pitchers. But with that being said, 89 1/3 innings thrown, only allows 76 hits on 41 walks while striking out 69 batters. Nice. And that is an ERA sitting at a 3.12 with a whip at a 1.31. That is exactly where we want to see Quinn Priester. He is absolutely perfect where we want to see him. Hopefully he can keep continuing that. We're going to start him in AAA, and this is a guy that actually could maybe kind of nudge his way into a starting rotation role. He was definitely developing as a pitcher as well. You can see a +3 at least all across the board for most of those stats that are growing. His fielding and everything has been doing very well as well. So Priester, definitely a guy hoping to be a workhorse in this starting rotation coming into possibly the 2021 middle of the season to maybe even a 2022 start for Quinn Priester in a Pirates uniform. And moving into some familiar faces in a Pirates uniform, we are talking about the Renegade himself. David Bednar is not a major league pitcher in this franchise, but that is actually something that we are going to be discussing now. With his AAA stats being as amazing as they are, you're going to see in 49 innings, he punched out 45 batters, only walking 16 people and only allowing 3 home runs on 14 earned runs. A very solid relief outings from Bednar in the minor league system, a whip just over 1 at a 1.02 and a ERA hovering in that mid 2.5 era at a 2.57. Bednar is another guy that I've been discussing and kind of pondering about bumping up his attributes, making him a little bit better, maybe at least like a 75, I'm thinking, because in real life he is absolutely the best pitcher in the Pirates bullpen, and really the game doesn't do a great job of representing how good Bednar truthfully is. So I think with how good he had in AAA, we're going to bump him up to at least a 75. You guys, let me know if you're okay with me messing with a little bit of the stats. I'm not really going to be doing that to all the players. Only a couple of the players that I truthfully feel have kind of been a little bit neglected in their stay in MLB The Show so far. Bednar, definitely a guy with barely any major league service and sample size to come off of, and we did use the default rosters as the season started, so things are a little bit different with how some of these players' overalls are. And next pitcher that we are going to be talking about, this one we are going to briefly cover, but he is absolutely probably one of the best pitchers that we had in the minor leagues, and that is Todd Javari. He is a California-born native. He is 24 years old. He is a lefty at a 67 overall. He was very solid for us in the pen. In 41 2/3 innings, he only allowed 30 hits, did not allow a single home run in those innings, struck out 41 batters while only walking 8 batters, with an ERA at a 1.73 and a whip under 1 at a 0.91. Javari was absolutely a steal of a pitcher so far, so definitely expect Todd Javari to maybe be making some noise in the black and gold here very short. And briefly making our way down to AA, we have 3 players that we are actually going to be talking about in the AA organization. The first one is going to be another outfielder utility player in Blake Sabal. Sabal is our right fielder and played a lot of outfield in the season. In 60 games, Sabal had 245 at-bats, notching 68 hits on 7 jacks over the wall, walking 22 times while only striking out 33 times, stealing 10 bags, hitting an average of 278 with an on-base percentage of 337 and a slugging at 437 and an OPS averaging at a 774. Sabal was pretty impressive in his AA season. Hopefully in AAA he can continue this going on. Sabal, you can look at his attributes right there. Really not a guy that is known to be a good hitter, but had a very good hitting season down in AA. So hopefully AAA, where the things get a little bit thicker, starting to see a couple people that have had their meshes and had their sample sizes of the major leagues. I think Sabal is going to do very well with that. I think this is a guy that is going to jump off the bat. He might not be the guy that is going to hit 30 home runs for us, but I think he is definitely going to be a potential key component in maybe a Adam Frazier-esque player for the Pittsburgh Pirates coming up soon. And the final position player of the day is going to be number 99, the right fielder himself, Solly Matias. Matias in 93 games hit 14 balls over the wall, had a 266 average with an OPS of 773, a slugging nearing the 450 mark. Did strike out 94 times, so the strikeouts, he's averaging just about a strikeout a game. Not really the best thing you want to see. Did swipe 8 bags, surprisingly. Not that he isn't the slowest person, but he's certainly not the fastest either. Did hit 17 balls in the gap with 2 triples as well, so he is a little bit diverse. He's only 21 years old. This is a guy that we did acquire from the Kansas City Royals, and he has been very fun to have in the organization. You can see now with a +8 attribute to that power against lefties, he already has a 71 power against lefties and a 60 against righties. He is only in AA, and I think he is going to be an absolute bombing player for us. I think this guy is going to be sending many baseballs into the Allegheny of PNC Park very soon and shortly. Hopefully the fielding can get a little bit better, because a 56 is something that I'm a little bit skeptical on having in my outfield, especially in right field, where I do like to have guys with strong arms. Matias not really known for his fielding. I don't really want to try to convert him into a first baseman either, because we already have a logjam of a first baseman, and especially the depth in our minor leagues right now with players like Warren Looney and Ryan O'Hearn, Diego Flores. The list can go on and on with the amount of people that we have to utilize at first base. So with that being said, guys, that is going to be the wrap-up for Solly Matias as we get into the final player of this wrap-up. And the final player that we are going to be talking about for today is AA relief pitcher / closing pitcher Luis Oviedo. This is a guy that the Pirates did see a little bit in this season. He did struggle a little bit in real life, but in Luis Oviedo's season for us, in 44 games, he did give us 72 total innings and was pretty solid. Allowed an ERA exactly at 2 with a whip at a 1.14. Did strike out 62 batters in those innings. So I want to see the strikeouts go a little bit more, but only allowed 7 balls over the wall in those 72 innings. Was pretty solid and definitely a guy that we could rely on throughout. Hopefully in AAA he can develop as well. I don't know if this is a guy that I really want to bump up his stats because I'm really not too sure. I think I might just kind of let this one, MLB The Show, take its course and kind of keep him where he is. Oviedo, definitely a guy that we want to be talking about. But with that being said, guys, that is going to wrap up today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. This one pretty much has just been a little bit of a minor league recap as the seasons winded down and the seasons are now officially over for our minor league teams. The rest of it being the Pittsburgh Pirates opportunities. We are looking to try to get ourselves back into the postseason and have that hashtag Buctober for the first time since the 2015 season for the Pittsburgh Pirates as we look to take the crown and bring the black and gold another World Series championship as we head that much deeper into the franchise. That will do it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and if you guys do enjoy today's video, be sure to leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe for more amazing content because only you can make a difference for today's channel, so your support is greatly appreciated. And with that being said, guys, I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.